Hello people, just walking my dogs at night on a very quiet Saturday night. Hardly any cars on the road. It's like the country has just come to a standstill. It's like 28 days later at the film. There's no one about. I mean, I've just seen, well, there is someone about. I'll tell you something, this ain't even a lie. Just at the traffic lights up the road there, I was waiting at the lights, my lights went amber and then green, and as they went green, a police car drove past me from the other side, which means they 100% went through a red light, and it was a 30 zone, and they was probably doing at least 40, maybe 45. So they were speeding and they went for a red light. So one rule for them, one rule for us. Once again, as we all know, it's like they're running around at the minute, literally doing what the fuck they like. We're living in a police state right now, if you ain't noticed, ladies and gentlemen. And things are getting worse. I've just seen a Sky News article saying about this fucking lockdown and these tier 3 bollocks things, what he keeps coming out of. I don't really know all the names and the terms. He makes them up as he goes along, old Boris and his puppet masters. But he's saying about we will get 5 days of freedom for Christmas. What the fuck is he talking about? Freedom. So he's admitting he's took our freedom away. Still don't know anyone who's died from this virus yet. But like I said, this ain't got nothing to do with the virus anymore. That was the Trojan horse to bring in this new world order. And I know there's still loads of you out there thinking that that's still a conspiracy theory, but you can keep saying that. You can keep saying that the whole time while it's being implemented. You can keep denying it, because at the end of the day, let's face it, if you've been a law-abiding citizen your whole life, then understanding that the government have lied to you and fucked you over has probably got to be one of the hardest pills to swallow ever. Luckily, I've never been in that fucking category. I know what they're up to. I always have done. I've never watched telly. Don't watch the news. But yeah, back to this. Come on, dogs, back down here. Walk back down there. This tier 3 fucking whatever they call it. So he's giving us 5 days of freedom. Ooh, 5 days of freedom. Cheers, Boris. Can you not see this? What they do, right? They take your freedom away and they give a little bit back at a time and expect you to be grateful. And most people are. This is the thing. It works. It's working. It's working so well for them. It's working so well. It's like when you ground, just say you ground your child and you say, right, you're grounded for a whole week. But then on day 4, you say, you can go out for an hour. That kid will be forever fucking grateful for that hour. That'll be like the most gratefulest hour they've ever had in their life. Right, and that's what this is like now. They're treating us like kids. They're like, right, we're all in lockdown. They can't even justify the lockdown. It's an illegal lockdown, by the way. But now they're saying, as it's Christmas, we're going to let you have 5 days of freedom. Oh, thanks, Boris. Cheers for that, mate. Thank you very much. You're so kind. And then they're saying about when this lockdown ends, because we're in lockdown right now, apparently, even though all the big businesses are still open. But when this lockdown's meant to be ending on the 2nd of December, this article's now saying it's not ending. Let me take my head down, hang on. This article is saying that basically they're going to announce each part of the UK is going to be going into different tiers, like tier 3 lockdown, tier 2, whatever the fuck they call them. So different rules for different areas. So they're not just everyone says, lockdown ends on the 2nd. No, it don't. This is how they get you. They put everyone in lockdown and then they're going to, the words he used was ease the lockdown. So they're not ending the lockdown, they're easing it. So they've took away all of our freedom and then they give a little bit back and expect us just to be happy with it. And most people will be. It's fucking crazy. People just willingly giving their freedom away. And I've seen people in the comments actually fully agreeing with what he's doing, like as if this is a normal thing. It's just crazy. So basically then they're talking about going back into it all after Christmas, which is just like, what the fuck? It's just madness. It's just mental how people are just still sucking everything up and just believing it all. It's crazy. It's like, what else? About the vaccine. I keep seeing people talking about the vaccine. Everyone's doing these little questionnaire poll things on Facebook and Instagram and that, and they're asking a question out of all their friends and family, would you get the vaccine? And people are like, yeah, I would definitely. And some people are like, no, I wouldn't. And then there's people on the fence, oh, I don't know if they can prove it's safe, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're falling into their trap so easy. The question ain't, would you take the vaccine? The question is, do we need the vaccine? And the simple answer is no. We don't. We don't need a vaccine for a stupid fucking coronavirus flu that's killing less than 1%. And they're all old. The average age of people dying is 82. That's from the government's own website. So the average age of people dying from coronavirus, COVID-19, is 82 years of age. Mate, I'll be fucking lucky to live to 82. Let alone fucking try and battle COVID. I'll be gone by the time I'm 82 probably. And a lot of other people will be. So that's that. You shouldn't be asking people, well, will you take the vaccine? That's not the question. The question is, do we need it? No, we don't. We don't need it. Right? And don't you think it's weird why they're pushing it so much? Like, why are they pushing it? Right? Really, it should just be like, we found a vaccine, and if you want to have it, you can have it. But instead it's like, fucking, like they're forcing it. They're forcing it on everyone. And they're saying, yeah, we don't know if it's going to be mandatory yet, but they're just going to restrict your life. If you ain't had a vaccine, they're going to say you can't work, you can't travel, you can't do this, can't do that. So they're pushing you into a corner. Now, don't you find that a bit strange? Like, that's so strange. Why would they want to do that? Why do they want everyone to have a vaccine so much? Like, it's such odd behaviour, what they're doing right now. Nothing makes sense. None of the lockdowns, none of the rules make sense. Unless you know about the fucking plan. If you know about the plan, you sort of know what's going on. It all makes sense. You can understand. I've still got people talking about the virus, saying, why is this allowed to be open, but that ain't? Yeah, none of this makes sense. It's because if you're still thinking about a virus, none of this don't make sense at all. But if you know their plan and what they've been planning for years, so many people are speaking out now as well. I truly believe there's a lot of people high up in authority and that have got a voice that are now speaking out, and it's just going to get bigger. And I think they're panicking because they know the Great Awakening is happening. People are waking up. And I think that's why they're going full throttle now. They're just clamping down, tightening up all the screws, trying to just get everyone in their houses. They don't want anyone spreading information. Like, any way you can talk to people, they're cutting off that contact. Like, clubs are shut, bars are shut, salons, anywhere where you go to talk to people, where the gossip spreads, all of that is shut. They don't want none of that. They're keeping the kids in school though, because they own the schools. They're government, state schools. That's where they indoctrinate your kids at young ages and teach them about all the fake history. I see someone on Facebook the other day, some lady saying that because of this COVID stuff, they're not having assemblies at the minute in schools. And she's only just found out now from her little kid that instead of assembly, they've been watching Newsround. Little kids in school watching Newsround. And guess what they're all talking about? They're talking about COVID. Of course they are. What else is there to talk about these days? Nothing else matters. Nothing else is important. Everything's COVID now. You can't die from nothing else at the minute. It's all COVID. You can't get ill. It's all COVID. Everything's COVID. Why is COVID the most important thing in the world right now? Have you not asked yourself that? Why is it so important? Why is it more important than anything else? I mean, it's like the 23rd or something down the list of killers, but they're like acting as if it's number one. It's crazy. Like, why? Have you not asked yourself these questions? Why? Why is COVID the number one thing at the minute? The answer is very simple if you know where to look, and you need to have an open mind about it. Like I said before, it's a very hard pill to swallow if you fully had given all your trust to the government your whole life, and then this comes along. I mean, I know a lot of people still, some of them family, like my missus' family, and they won't even look at anything else apart from the news. It's a cognitive dissonance. They've fully got these government like trust. They've got the government's trust so far drilled into their heads since young that they couldn't ever even comprehend the government doing something so bad as this. Oh yeah, and before I forget, I just want to quickly clear up the people that always say, what, are all the governments in on it? Ooh, they're all working together, are they? You've got to understand, this is another thing. The New World Order, the plan, their agenda, what I've been talking about the whole time. No, they're not all working together. There's people higher than them. You've got to understand that. Boris Johnson ain't the fucking one in charge of England. Do you think he is? Boris Johnson? He's a puppet. They're all puppets. They've been working towards a one world government for decades, but they can't just simply do it. They've had to slowly do it over the years, and that's what they're doing. This is a one world government, and at the minute, the only thing you can compare it to is like fucking Nazi Germany. Now I know there'll people say, oh, you can't compare that. This isn't genocide. They're not going to gas chambers. No, but the Nazis didn't start like that. They didn't start like that. At the minute, if you look slowly at what's happened this year, you'll realise that the plan and the steps they've taken gradually, tiny little steps, one by one, little step by step. You're not allowed to do this now, not allowed to do that. Shutting down Facebook, shutting down, like, fact checking, everything. It just seems minor, but one little thing at a time. Before you know it, boom, we're here. November, all locked up in our houses, businesses shut down. There's a German doctor that got his door kicked through 2 days ago doing a live stream because he's seen through the lies, and he's been going to protests and being an activist against all this government corruption, and live streaming it on his in his living room. The police, Nazi police, come kicking his door through and nick him, get him on the floor as if he's a terrorist. He's just a German doctor that's speaking out. This is getting bad. I'm going to leave it here now because it's like 12.5 minutes long, this video, and I do go on a bit, but I'm going to upload this now. If you like any of this from this video, I've got so much more to tell you if you want to hear. I've got a lot. Especially for the people that really don't know what's going on, I can break it down in small little chunks and feed it to you, and you can make your own mind up. I'm telling you, if you look into it, it'll all start making sense, okay? Right, now I've got a bit of a hill to walk up, so I love you and leave you in a bit, people.